Everyone, welcome back to TV5 News at 9. We have Education Matters now with Saginaw Intermediate School District. We're here with the Deputy Superintendent of Instructional Programs, Dr. Erin Senkowski.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for coming in. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yes, of course. We're glad to have you because we're talking about healthy study habits leading up to exams. Okay, so students are coming back from break. So why is it important for them to establish this consistent study routine?
Yeah, so we know that the new year brings new challenges, and we know that our students coming back to school, to exam time, poses some new stressors. So any new habits that our students can create so that they are learning and preparing materials for upcoming exam week is really important as they move forward.
How do they really get started, do you think?
The first thing that we want to make sure students are doing is that they're setting up opportunities for consistency. So that they're setting structures and routines, and they're having moments where they can create new habits. So sometimes it's as simple as maybe spending 25 minutes to reading materials or looking through flashcards, prioritizing things that are coming forward. But studying is different for every child, and the way in which students study is different for every kiddo. So finding the way that works best for them is very important, and then also making sure that they're taking time to learn the material and also be able to articulate it back so that they can demonstrate that they've learned it.
Very good, yeah. So with studying, you know, there's so many distractions. Like, I got this Apple Watch and I want to look at it all the time. How can we really create a focused, productive study room or environment?
Yeah, so creating environments that are free of distractions are very important. Having opportunities where our students can unplug a little bit, but also recognizing that our students need technology to study. Study habits are different for students now than they were 10 years ago. They need access to technology, but also teaching our students and our children that they can perhaps turn off some notifications, or that they can focus on particular apps or particular study guides that they're working on is really important, and that they're just engaging in the material that's presented to them.
So, of course, lots of balancing different topics and subjects these students have to do. Do you have any strategies for maybe breaking down study sessions into like manageable, you know, ways of doing it?
Yeah. So first thing you want to do is you really want to look at how the material needs to be is going to be asked for from the assessment. So, for example, if it's a essay test, that those type of tests we're going to study for a little bit differently. We're going to prepare by perhaps doing some writing samples or finding sources. If it's a multiple choice assessment that students are going to be utilizing, they're going to be perhaps using mnemonic devices to do memorization and things like that. So making sure that the studying that they're doing matches the assessment that's coming forward is very important, and also provides them the best results.
And so, of course, with exam taking, a lot of students can get really stressed out even with preparing and even maybe taking the exam. How can students incorporate maybe some mindfulness, self-care, stress management? Yeah,
so that's really critical. Our students need to be able to find balance, and they need to be able to provide themselves with some opportunities to relax and walk away and come back to the material that they're reviewing. So setting time parameters for studying, being intentional about maybe perhaps when we're studying, not studying at 11, 12 o'clock at night, but maybe spending some time when you come home from the day, get a snack, spend a couple hours, relax, do something to disengage from the work that you've been doing, and coming back to it is very important. But setting a schedule and setting a structure is something that we really encourage all of our students to do. As educators, we're teaching kids study habits, and as parents, we need to make sure that we're reinforcing what they're learning. So asking your student what they have been taught at school and how to study, what are their teachers recommending, what tools have they been provided, is really important. And I think as we're getting our kids ready for exams, it's also giving them grace, and it's giving them the opportunity to say, I need a break. listening to them, watching them, and also being there to support them, modeling behavior. So if we're asking our kids to turn off their devices while they're studying, we have to also do the same, and we have to model that. So whether as parents, we are taking the opportunity to maybe have some quiet time around the house, creating that environment for them, it just continues to build on positive study habits for them, and then finding more success as they move forward.
I like too that it's kind of like a team effort. It's not just on the student.
100%.
And maybe like takes the stress off them a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And realizing that, as I said earlier, every child needs different things when they come to studying.
Yeah.
Some kiddos are able to learn material the first or second time they read it. Others need to have it presented to them in different ways, and perhaps they need flashcards or they need to talk through things. And meeting your kiddo where they're at, meeting your child where they're at, having those opportunities to figure out what best meets their needs, because the middle school and high school years are really where they develop strong study habits, and then as they move into their post-secondary education, be it career tech, be it workforce, be it college and career, they have then built their own study habits that get them ready for their next step.
And work for them.
And work for them, absolutely. It's just finding things that meet us where they're at, and that they're able to move forward.
Very good. Can you talk about the role that maybe sleep and nutrition play in studying, and also how students can prioritize that?
Yeah, absolutely. So sleep and nutrition is something that I think when we are talking about exams, we're talking about studying, we always think get a good breakfast. Like everybody needs to get a good breakfast, and that's the key thing. We hear that over and over again. But sleep and nutrition is something that we need to build upon. So these weeks coming into exam week, making sure your students are going to bed early, making sure that they are not in environments where they're going to get maybe distracted from their sleep with the text messages or things going off. But really creating those healthy habits so that it builds out. But as we talk about nutrition, making sure that, yes, they do have a healthy breakfast before they go to school. Make sure that they have a good dinner the night before. Make sure that they have maybe snacks or things that they have access to. But there's lots of things that we can do just to decompress and realize that exams are a part of the process. They are not everything. They are not the entirety of the semester. They are a snapshot in time. So teaching our children to be prepared for them adequately, but also to work through the stress of them, and know that after the exam comes the next step. And so really being able to build out their habits and their needs so that when it comes around again in May, that they're ready for it.
Perfect. This really takes me back.
I know it does.
Talking about it. Is there anything else, Dr. Senkowski, you want to add?
No, I think this is just a time of year for parents to be reflective about how we can continue to help our students, how we can engage with our schools, and know that our educators and our teachers want our students and children to be as successful as possible. And I encourage parents, if they have questions about maybe a study guide that they're receiving or things like that, reach out to your child's teacher, ask the question, send the email, because if you have a question, they're there to answer it, and they would much rather give you the correct answer and than the reason why behind it. But use your schools as resources.
Perfect. Dr. Senkowski, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Of course, our pleasure. You can always find more information about the topic for today by going to our hot links page on our website at WNEM.com.